Hello everybody. So today I decided I wanted to try and start a fire using just the sunlight and a magnifying glass because it's still snowing outside and I've wondered how doable it is during kind of the wintry time. So we're going to see how this goes. So I've got here a piece of cardboard, which is what I'm going to be doing all of my attempts on, just to keep stuff out of the snow. I've got just some brown paper, like from a brown paper bag. I've got some folded up tissues, and then I've got some birch bark, as well as a big magnifying glass, which I'm pretty sure will work, a smaller magnifying glass, which I think will work, and then one of these little compass things that's got like a little magnifying glass right there. I don't expect that to work, but I wanted to try it anyway. Ah man, it's such a beautiful day out here, even with all the snow. But there's like all sorts of birds singing up in the trees over there. And I'm kind of just waiting for the sun to finish coming out from behind that cloud. Because one of the things about trying to start a fire this way is that you do actually need the sun. So the sun isn't quite out from behind the cloud, but I wanted to go ahead and start trying anyway, just to kind of see what the difference was between being in the cloud and not in the cloud. So we're going to start with just this piece of brown paper. And one of the key things to keep in mind when working with sunlight is that the angle that the sun is at relative to your magnifying glass is super important. So because the sun is over that way, rather than holding the magnifying glass straight up and down, I'm going to want to be tilting it so that it's as straight on to the sun as I can. And then I want whatever I'm trying to set on fire to also be somewhat in line there. Also, you're not really supposed to check with your hand where the focus point is, but because it's behind a cloud, I figured I could get away with it. I think the sun has come out, or the cloud has moved sufficiently that we can get some good sunlight going here. Oh wow, that's a lot brighter. Yeah. And right away, we start to see it smoke. Now, the trick is to get it to go from that smoking into an actual fire. So I'm actually going to go ahead and fold this a couple times. And the reason why I'm doing that is so that it has something to kind of keep it contained a little bit. Then we're going to bring this back up there. Well, so we've burned a hole through it, but we didn't actually get ignition, which is what I was hoping for. So, maybe let's try some tissue? So that's interesting. Even though the sun is not behind a cloud, like, it's still incredibly bright. For some reason, this tissue, like, it's not even smoking. It's kind of weird. I guess that just leaves us with some birch bark left to do. Maybe that piece was too small. We're going to try a bigger piece. So once again, we've got like a big hole burned through it, but no actual flame. So I wonder what I'm doing wrong. So I went and checked to see if I was doing anything wrong, and the answer is I'm not. I'm just not holding it there for long enough. So we're just gonna have to, you know, sit here for a little bit longer. And there we have it. We've got flame. I don't know if you can tell, but I'll just burn this tissue really quick to demonstrate. And then throw some snow on there to put that out. But there we are. That is how you start a fire with a magnifying glass. I'm going to throw that over there because I do want to see now if we can use the smaller magnifying glass and have the same result. So the trick that I found was that if you ball the brown paper up, that seems to work better. And also, you just have to be really patient. And also, you have to not have the sun go behind a cloud, which it's now doing right now. Alright, sun's back again. And the sun's going away again. This sun, it's not very helpful. Though I should mention, it's not the sun going away, but the clouds that are moving. So, as you can see, sky is blue, then we've got a cloud, and then we've got the cloud that the sun is now behind. And it's not that the sun is moving, it's that the cloud is moving that way. So we've got quite a bit to wait before that cloud moves. Alright, the cloud has once again moved. So we can try some more. The cloud came back. But at this point, I think I've done enough to note it is possible to do it with the small one. It just takes a lot longer. So if you've got a bigger magnifying glass, go with the bigger magnifying glass. Something else to note, the tissues, I could not get them to even scorch at all with the sunlight. So I think that's because just they're so white that they reflect most of the light and don't absorb enough to actually catch fire. This brown paper works really, really well. So if you've got that brown paper, I would recommend going with that. The birch bark also works really well. In fact, the birch bark starts smoldering faster. The problem that I was having with the birch bark is it was actually burning through a lot quicker than the brown paper, just because it's actually thinner. So maybe if you were to get it to crumple kind of in the same way that I crumpled the paper there, it might really work well as well. But yeah, it's totally possible, even with tons of snow on the ground and temperatures not necessarily that warm. So I just want to say thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. That cardboard is totally soaked. That's hilarious.